Hello. Hello. Welcome to the Consistently Rolling Show. I am your girl, Consistence.
And this is Lil. What's up?
Sorry that we popped up early on you guys today. We just decided we was going to go incognito. We don't have a disclaimer today because as you saw in the intro, our disclaimer is properly up. These are our opinions, and no longer will we keep continuously saying it. And Lil, what do you want to talk about today?
Let's see. Where we left off at on Tuesday? Something about children, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was about the kids.
The kids. Yeah, it was about the kids. And something else I wanted to touch on too, because somebody brought it to my attention. God, I brain fart again. But yeah, so I guess we're gonna start with the whole kid thing, right?
The 12-year-old boy and the 14-year-old girl. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, the two children out of Florida, that they ran away from an orphanage. I guess you want to call it an orphanage home, or wherever they stand at. And they broke into a gentleman's home and took his weapons. They found his weapons in his house. I was assuming that the homeowner was at home because he'd heard him come in. And when sheriff deputies were alerted to the house, at least 6 of them showed up. Two kids opened fire on the sheriff deputies. Got into a massive shootout with the sheriff deputies, and the actual sheriff was on the giving a report saying that his deputies had to hide behind trees. They had nowhere to hide as the kids were firing on them. And I believe the 14-year-old girl was shot. Last I heard, she was fighting for her life. But the 12-year-old boy, he wasn't hurt at all. He was just suffering from diabetes. He needed insulin really bad and everything. So I guess my question was,
he suffered from what? I'm sorry, he suffered from what again?
I believe it was diabetes he was suffering from. Diabetes, yeah.
He went into a seizure-like thing, huh?
Yeah. So, but then I got when I saw this, I'm like, what's going on with our kids today? Why is a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old getting into a shootout with law enforcement? Why are they bringing it to the home? Why did they run away? Where are their parents? Where are their guardians that was supposed to watch? Like, it's so many questions. And this thing goes on, with a lot of our kids today. Our kids are I don't know, just something's going on. It's like our kids are being targeted and we don't really see it.
I think it's like it's a plethora of things. I will say that, one, the games that they play aren't good. Two, how the household environment, good or bad, can be. Peer pressure can also be a horrible thing. 3, some kids just are ready to die. Like, don't even know why. They can have a good household, everything's good, everything's fine. Peer pressure can be a major thing. But I mean, there could be a few things to it. And us as adults, I guess I feel like we just need to start having that open dialogue of communication. When I grew up in my church, we would be able to have those socials and be able to have those conversations as teenagers and adults. I was kind of grateful for that little bit of outlet, because at home you don't get to be the kid and the adult. You're just my way or the highway. So it's a plethora of things that is the problem with that.
Yeah. I felt so compelled to bring that up because I just feel bad being a father of 9, of course, and I had my fair share of problems with raising kids as well. And, and I always ask myself the question: what's going on with these kids? Why they are the way they are? Is it the schools? Definitely the games. It's definitely TV shows, especially the things we find out about the TV that we're watching now or they're watching. Um, and I know in these days that these kids, remember back in the day when we were kids, cartoon was an actual figure, like a man or a woman or a cat or a dog or some type of horse. Those some a physical animal in a cartoon type character. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you can relate to the cartoons. But today, these cartoons are like blogs, things with legs and mouths and things to walk around like penises and it's just weird. Like why kids? I watch my 5-year-old. He's watching this show, and almost like that Minecraft. It's just like blocks, and they are like locked into that. I'm like, what is it? Why are my kids?
They sitting there on YouTube watching kids play with toys. Like, why aren't you playing with toys? I mean, I guess the generation is different. That's just like the generation before me, which is probably your generation. Used to be outside all the time. While I used to be outside, right, I was introduced to computers. So I was able to be diverse. I mean, you could say it's a plethora of things. Like, I left home and for whatever reason, and I decided to do adult things, and in order to do adult things, I had to sometimes do illegal things. You know what I'm saying? In order to maintain just the necessities for myself. So it could be a plethora of things, but we do need to legitly have that talk. A lot of us as adults forget that we were children, and so they don't want to have that talk. A lot of us want to forget the past that we were on and want to assume that our kids aren't going through certain things. And there are some things that our kids are going through that we quite aren't able to understand. And so we need to have that open dialogue all the way around.
Yeah. Agreed. Totally agree. And stuff. So, okay, that's cool. I just thought that was kind of crazy. And I'm pretty sure there are hundreds of more stories going on out here with these children and what they're going through in their lives. And it's just sad to see them go through that. But, yeah, it's kind of crazy. So, what else on that menu here? I was reading a little bit about again, this is TikTok news, where lawyers got together to sue the CDC and and certain doctors when charged with crime against humanity. So I thought that was right. Yeah. Well, it's
the one that got off of TikTok about Dr. What is his name from the World Health Organization? Nope. We're not going to say his name, but yeah, there has been lots of rumors, and they're definitely coming after him. And it's not just about the COVID vaccine; they went deeper into even AIDS. I mean, hey,
yeah. Ain't that something? But the reason why they said the crime against humanity, because this is a humanitarian thing. If it was just like the United States, or just China, or if it's just one particular country, it's one thing. But this pandemic went and vaccination went
over the whole world.
Yeah, so that's so it's crime against humanity. So this there's over 1,000 lawyers that got together. So yeah, that's pretty deep. And I've been catching clips off and on about things that are going on Federal Hill. So it's coming ahead. And one guy made a point. He said, what if this vaccine that everybody so happily took and just hopped on down there and had that needle pop into their arm was a strike against the United States? And here's why. Because 80% of the military, 80% of the law enforcement, 80% of the medical field, and transportations and all had to take the vaccine or they lose the job. They were forced to take it. So let's just say this vaccine doesn't kick in until 8 months later, a year later. Everybody just start getting sick and dropping to the ground. How will we defend our country? If all the cops are sick, all the doctors are sick, all our military are sick, can't move, dying, how would we defend our country?
Who
Who would
knows?
defend our country? That's the thing to think about.
We
All
don't
stems
have,
around China.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, just something to think about. Put out there.
There's a lot to think about. It's a lot to think about. Anything else you want to talk about today?
Yeah, I can ruin anybody's Friday. Let's see here. Oh yeah,
No.
they said. Let's see what else we got on here. Did you have any more topics that you want to touch on?
Not really. I got a few things that I want to talk about, but I want to kind of get to the nitty gritty a little bit later.
Oh, look at now, spill the beans. Spill the beans. We want to know. You shouldn't have said nothing. Now you just started.
No, it's not really that bad. It's just I was watching Iyanla Vanzant. For those who know about it, I kind of go to her virtual spiritual spa every month. Different topics that you can work on throughout your whole month until you get to go to the spiritual spa again. Choices, forgiveness. Forgiveness was a good one, which it talks about subconscious forgiveness, how we say that we forgive people, but when we talk about these things, the emotions, we still have emotions attached to it, which means that we didn't fully forgive it in the first place. And then last night, she talked about boundaries, which I felt was very much interesting. And she talked about why, the history of why we don't get these boundaries. It starts from when you were younger, your parents would say, you are a child, you're saying not heard, do as I say, not as I do. You get into these situations where your kid doing adult things, you please people for attention, just different things. And there lies where you don't have any boundaries, or the boundaries are crossed, or the boundaries are meshed. She also talked about the difference between having a wall up and setting boundaries. With a wall, there's a defense mechanism. There's no way of bringing that wall down. But with boundaries, you set the tone of the rules of how you want to be treated by a person. So I felt like that was very interesting, and it hit home for me because I realized that I am a person that I really want to be everything for everybody, don't want to hurt nobody. But in the process of that, I don't know who I am. Don't know what my voice really is. Don't know how to stand on my own 2 feet without someone. So that was just something that I felt was very interesting.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting. Very, very, very interesting and everything. But hopefully you will find that, sometimes the answer lies within. Sometimes the answer's not meant for you to know here.
Yeah.
It's a trip only you can go on. We can just witness it. You have to take a trip. And talking about trips, you and I touched on a thing a while ago about a trip, and we discussed it. Now, kind of avoided you from doing it, but DMT, the DMT trip. Remember that we had a conversation?
Yeah.
And everything. DMT. I once again ran across one of Joe Rogan. He's a good podcast. Everybody should go check him out. Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was touching on DMT again and everything. And and he has some interesting stuff to say about it and stuff. But one side of me says I want to go on this trip, because it's done professionally. It's in a controlled environment.
So when we talk about different trips, we're talking about just DMT. We're not talking about mushrooms, anything of that sort.
No, nothing that's illegal. I don't want to take shrooms like that. Although I heard shrooms do work and different stuff like that. I like to do it. Actually, DMT is your body can produce DMT, but a very minute amount of it. All of us, all humans, we can produce this. What allows us to imagine things, daydreaming, dreaming, whatever. DMT is released, especially on fear and stuff like that. When we're really scared or we're traumatized, DMT is released. and sometimes there's another chemical in it. What's the other one? DMT and I got to brain fart again. But anyway, but they do it. They do it in a controlled environment where professionals sitting around. You take the first puff. You take 3 puffs. First puff you take, you hold it 15 seconds, blow out. You start to feel relaxed and everything like that. The second time you hit the second puff, it goes more in depth. You're more like relaxed. You're high, but you're not really high. You start to fall to like a sleep mode, but you're awake. And then by the third hit, according to the witness that's watching you, you're just sitting there, drooling from the mouth, not moving at all. But for the person who actually take the trip, you leave your body.
So the reason why I wanted to go on this trip is because, as some people know, they say that there are watchers there or whatever the case may be. So I guess in a way, I wanted to speed up my learning, and you were the one who kind of like suggested not to, because we're messing with a different type of entity. Some people would call it the devil, whatever the case may be, but it's something that is not of this world and not of pleasing to maybe me or whatever. So I want to thank you for that.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I've been, studying this for a while. DMT, listening to different testimonies and different people going for different reasons. But one thing they all have in common is they're very particular on why they go. On many, many videos, even with Joe Rogan, he even says, when you go there, you're going to know, you want to have to know why you're there. If you want to speak to them or communicate with them, it's very particular. It can't be
just to go.
I don't want to say personal.
If you want.
Yeah, exactly. And it can't involve this
to be there. Okay.
Yeah, you're not going to go, hey, give me the lottery number to the next lottery when he's not going to win $1 billion. The deck was worth $1 billion. That's not going to work. And you're going to find yourself in a position where it's going to be very scary for you, because their thing is the others, if you go back to ancient history, is to deter you from coming in the first place. You're not supposed to be there. So they can terrify you to beyond belief, and everything. So if you go there logically, on a specific vibration, if I can say that, specific vibration, you may get what you're looking for, if you know what you're looking for.
So I'm not trying to
go ahead.
On this journey that I am currently on. When you read and you study and you look and you see, there are a lot of different things that you want to explore. The reason being is because you want to figure out and find out exactly what is for you. So that was one of the reasons why I was like, yeah, maybe we can go, but then once, not just you, but also doing proper research, I realized maybe that's not for me. So, but like I said, on the spiritual journey, you do a lot, or you experiment or read or want to be a part of a lot of different things until something gravitates hold of you that works for you. Like, for instance, how Hindus worship a different god than what Christians do. So
yes, that is absolutely true. So that is absolutely true. Oh, yeah, but I thought that was interesting about DMT. Like I said, I ran across Joe Rogan today, and it's just funny that he was on the air talking about it and everything and stuff. And speaking of Joe Rogan, I ran across another episode with him and Kanye. And I just want to ask, what the is wrong with Kanye?
I don't know. He thinks that he's about to buy the whole earth. Did you hear that?
Yes, I heard. I looked it up on YouTube, and I'm like, what? I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a stitched in joke. So that's what made me do a little research. I went on YouTube with it and saw research. Then I went to Twitter. And it was actually on Joe Rogan actually talking that stuff. I'm like, holy, what is wrong with my dude? Like, come on. Like, it's crazy.
Because he knows more than what we know. And just like, I guess he feel like, see, all right, how can I say this? Forget it. Like, I'm just gonna say it. So Kanye West is way more knowledgeable than you and I.
Yeah, yes.
We say that there's an elite that is in control of the world, but he definitely knows for sure maybe who and what they are. Okay, so maybe Kanye West feel like he got enough money that he can be a part of the boys. I mean,
right. Right.
Y'all might as well excuse my French for saying it like this, but you might as well have a nigga on the team. I mean, y'all been taking over all this time. It's time for y'all to move over. You know what I'm saying? There's a new God in town. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I saw that. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
I don't blame them. We taking over everything else. We might as well join the club. I'm just saying.
How about that? Just join the club. Said I can't even get the damn door. You talking about?
I mean, but if you realize, if you really look around, everybody is waking up. The one good thing about this pandemic, people had to sit in their mess. They really did. And within sitting in their mess, they had to really, really think, and things start opening. The spirit world, whatever it is you want to call it, and everybody. And I want to say, especially, no, I'm not going to say that because that would be wrong to say. But I will say that I'm getting super proud of my Black people because we thinking outside the box. We going back to using our hands. We going back to our roots. We going back to learning the original history of who and what we are. And that was the one good thing about the pandemic. Like it was. I mean, some of us has not quite gotten through this journey yet, because we're still trying to figure it out. Some of us have had a big grasp, you know what I'm saying, of what their spirituality was, or torment, or what is it? It's not called torment. Whatever their past trauma could be. So it's going to take us a little bit longer than others because we got to clean that stuff up. We got to wash that stuff up. But I have been noticing that we waking up and we realizing, hey, we not the minority around here. We never were.
Right.
I'm just saying. And maybe we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about Black History Month. I mean, Black History next week. You know, what Black.
I think we should get rid of Black History Month.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe we should talk about the true Black history next week.
Oh yeah. I saw some stuff on that too. But I think we as Black people should get rid of Black History Month. Like a month, give us Black History Year. How about that? Let's talk about that. Let's put that on.
Well, how about let's get rid of whatever Black, white history is, and just tell the whole truth. Period.
How about that?
I would be happy with that part.
That'd be awesome.
If we legitimately knew the whole history, we would be so. I know for me, it made me feel proud. Yeah. I know for me, it made me want to do better. I know, you know what I'm saying? Because our history starts where slavery begins, and that's not our history.
That's not a history. That didn't start there. Exactly. I'm not going to say, but we were good. Anyway.
I'm just saying, queens and queens, kings and queens, get back to your throne. Get back to it. That's all I'm saying.
That's right.
And I know that the struggle is hard, and I know that it's easier said than done because you sitting in mess trying to figure out how you gonna get out. Please believe me, you gonna get out. You gonna get out. When it's time for you to get out, you're going to get out.
That's right.
It's not even just for you; it's for me too. We gonna get out.
That's right. All of us are.
Mm-hmm.
Got my milk and honey packed up already in the refrigerator. Talk about.
That's another story for another day. Like we can get into that. Let me elaborate on that a little bit. Well, I understand where it came from as far as the land of milk and honey, but I really feel like that was a metaphor for somewhere great. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at it like people that were farmers and crop, you know what I'm saying? They dealt with crops. So what would be luxurious for them? You know what I'm saying? A cow that has abundance of milk that I don't have to worry about, and honey that I don't have to get from the bees. Like,
right.
It's just
although honey is very good for humans, but milk isn't. That's the mystery side about that. Although we drink milk every day, we're not supposed to.
Yeah, that is definitely true too. Because I mean, even
a cow
doesn't feed her cub or whatever calf doesn't feed her calf after a certain amount of days or even months. But yeah, we still drink from a cow who is way heavier than you. So what do you think your bones are going to do?
Yeah. Yes, sir. The government loves that. The CDC loves that. Drink milk.
Why? What's the purpose? My milk was enough for my children, just like everybody else's milk has been enough for theirs. And once they got a certain age, what they say, when I was a child, I think like a child, I act like a child. Now that I'm not a child, I put away all childish things. Even though there's a time and place for everything, I do believe in that, because you do have to go back to being the heart of a child, that imagination, that freeness, that fun. Yeah. So.
Yep. Yes, sir. That is absolutely right. Oh man. So what else we gonna touch on today?
I don't know. What you got?
I don't got too much. I'm actually doing some other stuff and researching and everything now. I've been hearing a lot about the flat earth theory. They kind of caught my attention on certain things. So I've been doing my own kind of test, and I'm talking to a friend of mine because he deals with like model planes and RC helicopters and stuff like that. That can fly pretty high. He has one RC plane that when he goes out to Arizona to fly it, he has to get the permission from the air controller people. The what's that? Not TWA. People who control the airspace. He gets permit to fly his plane pretty high. So I was chatting with him last night about 2 o'clock. Well, this morning about 2 o'clock in the morning, and everything. So I'm gonna call him back tonight. Because he's on a different time zone than I am, and since I'll be up and he be just getting up and talk to him. But what I would like to do is eventually purchase me a GoPro camera, and him and I get together, come up with some plan, and I want to see how high his plane can get. If we get high enough, take a picture of the upper atmosphere of the Earth. If not, I even went on the limb and said, "Hey, let's build us a rocket and try to."
You're not going nowhere.
Go at least 250 miles above the ground. No, not like a man-made rocket, a model-sized rocket. Model rocket. And model rocket and launch it. So we come up with many plans. There are many ways we can do it. It has to be a rocket strong enough and fast enough to carry a camera. There won't be the camera and the fuel. We have to use fuel, and then we have to use it has to carry the weight of the fuel, carry the weight of the camera, and then it has to travel very fast to break the gravitational pull of the Earth. So we were talking about that last night, and this morning, and so that's my next project. Because when I hear conspiracy theories, I like to put it to the test. I like to go see if I can disprove it myself before I say it's bull crap or it's true. That's why when I come to the table with it, I have photos, I have proof. I did it. I seen it. I know for a fact it's the objective truth because I did it. And then I would take. To hear you guys try it, and then you guys try to see if you come up with the same result to make it an objective truth. And that's what an objective truth is. When multiple people do the same one thing and it all comes up with the exact same result, that's an objective truth.
That should be fun.
It's not wrong. Yeah. So that's my next project to test out the flat Earth theory, because he's a flat earther himself. This is how him and I became friends. So when I was and he was telling me about the measurements and the sun and the moon and the dome and everything else. But yeah, okay, but the Earth isn't actually round. People think that the Earth, according to NASA, right, is a perfect sphere, and it is not perfectly round. The Earth is it's like taking a beach ball, put your hands on both ends of it, and squeeze the beach ball. That's what the Earth is, because if it's spinning 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, it's going to bulge out at the center. Because the Earth is so measurement, you're measuring a flat Earth. And then you're going off the measurements of a circle Earth when the Earth is actually not circle. It's kind of like a concave circle, or I forgot what that kind of circle that's called. But So maybe we need to change the measurement on how far you look at a boat go out to the ocean and where the actual curve line. Because if the Earth is a concave circle, then that horizon line will be a lot further than what they're measuring to see the horizon, the boat go away from the horizon where it starts to disappear. So it's just stuff like that. It's it's about physics and all that
I
kind
mean,
of stuff.
I kind of get it. I kind of understand because, like, Neil deGrasse Tyson, I guess, was talking about that, saying that people don't really go out into space; they just go into
No,
Leo, which is called the lower Earth orbit. And I
right.
mean, if that's the case, then that kind of makes sense because we don't see any stars or anything when they're out there, and we just see nothing
Yeah.
but so. I
And
mean,
that's the excuse for that is that the camera that they're using, just like if you take a picture of the night sky now, you catch a few stars on your. You take a picture of the moon, you take a picture of a plane, you're gonna catch a few stars in your photo. But NASA's saying that their cameras can't catch stars in the background because the Earth is glowing so bright that you can't see stars. So I yell proc a bull on that explanation because when the U.S. International Space Station is on the dark side of the planet, you still can't see stars.
mm-hmm.
So what do you guys say about that?
And even out there, you know what I'm saying? I've seen studios that make it seem like they out there, you know?
Right,
Well, hey,
right, exactly.
I've come to a realization that they just feed us a whole bunch of cockamamie, and for the reason of, for instance, like the man who wanted to go out in space and made his own rocket. Maybe
Yeah,
you just wanted him
farmer.
to
Yeah,
stop him from going. You know what I'm saying? Because if he
right,
went, then maybe he'll tell us something totally different than what you're telling us. So all of
exactly.
control tactic, I think, to me, you know.
Exactly.
So.
I think space is not a vacuum. I think space is a water. It's a complete ocean. And the reason why because they never taught us this in science. And it's rarely talked about in the science community. We all was raised up taught that water comes in um three different types of density. You know, you have the liquid, you have your solid frozen, and then you have your gas, fog. But they never talk about plasma.
Mhm.
There's a
I mean,
fourth
if we are, if we have all the elements of space
universe.
inside of us or the universe inside of us,
Yeah,
then that will make perfect sense because we have plasma in us. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So and they don't talk about that. And I go off of that because there's a lot of things I saw my personal telescope and the way stars look. If you guys go out and purchase a nice telescope, I mean a very nice telescope, you can go to Walmart get one 16 by 20 or whatever. Make sure it's a refractive telescope. Um, and research on your telescope. Make sure you know what you're getting. Because I have one. I have a telescope at home. It cost me about I don't know $1,000. You know, they got the one I want to get is like $3,000, 3,500. The one I want to get. But and you actually look at a star through the telescope, and you know it's not what you see in movies and TVs and what natural is something totally different. What you see out in space, even looking at distant stars like Betelgeuse and stuff like that, it's not what it is, it makes you question like where are we in the universe? What is the universe? And why the hell is NASA lying to us?
You know, a good a good show to watch to kind of give you like a little bit of an idea of what maybe Earth and space is. Gods of Egypt.
Gotcha.
Definitely need to watch that. Yep.
Yes.
They have the
Check
flat
that out this
earth
weekend.
theory with the water theory, and we just riding the wave. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Definitely watch that this weekend. I'm gonna be Netflix and chicken this weekend.
It's on TV. It's not on Netflix.
Oh, what TV is on?
It's on Tubi. That's free.
Tubi.
Hmm.
Tubi. So I gotta download Tubi.
Yes. It's pretty
Is it?
good. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Matter of fact, if you want to, I know it's old. I know it's really old. But next week after you watch it, we can do a little review and go back and forth of what we saw, what we didn't see, and then we'll have other people see whoever
Yeah.
wants to join and want to talk about it or any other movies that you saw, anything or
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. I
Be
thought that was very, very, very a very, very interesting movie. I really did.
Yeah, well, movies are documentaries, so
Of
we
what
know what
though? Because
of
yeah,
what they
that's what
are
I
in
will wait.
real.
I will wait until you see the movie because then I really want to go in depth of some of the things that I saw that were of somewhat of the Bible and the firmament
Mhm.
and the water theory that we're talking about. So
Yeah.
yeah,
All
definitely,
right. Definitely. That
definitely.
sounds good to me.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Nah,
You don't want to
I'm
teach
about to hit
nobody
back
about
down.
grounding.
Huh?
You don't want to teach nobody about grounding.
Grounding?
Yeah, the
Grounding.
meaning of
Oh
grounding.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't did that in a while. Matter of fact, I might do that this weekend. It's gonna be a good time because it'll be nice and warm outside. Grounding. So what is grounding? So to understand how grounding works, you gotta understand what you're standing on, which is the earth. And as we all know that everything is vibrating. I mean, like literally everything around us, including the earth. If you go onto NASA's website, they have this thing called the human resonance, where it's literally monitoring the resonation of the earth, the vibration of the earth. So if something going on out in space, the earth literally will react to it. It's amazing. But so we as beings, we have these shoes on. We've been taught to wear shoes. Our ancestors never wore shoes, but we were taught to wear shoes, and it disconnects us from the earth. Just like we were taught to wear clothes, and it disconnects us from the sun. For those who are supposed to be in the sun, I'm talking about my melanated people. So, so it disconnects from that. So what I've learned throughout the years is that reconnecting to the earth. You can check out Billy Carson with this as well. Um, reconnecting to Earth is very healing, mentally, physically, spiritually, and it literally charges you up. Here's what I do: go to my backyard. My backyard's covered in grass. I scoop off the layer of grass to get to the raw dirt. Then once you get to the raw dirt, there, just put a little. If it ain't wet, which it will be, it should be grass, a little moist. Take off your shoes, right? And the best time I find to do it is either during the sunrise or during sunset. Knowing when the sun's mid like noon, between 9 and 5, I don't do it because the sun is at the most highest, and you can get burnt and all kinds of like that. But between sunrise or sunset, 2 times I do it. Most time I do it during the morning time, and you just take off your shoes and socks. You plant your feet in the bare dirt, and you meditate, standing straight up. Just meditate, um, and you stand there for as long as you feel you need to stand there, because you would instantly start feeling like the charge. It's not like electricity charge. It's like I can't even explain it in words how you feel, and your feet will heat up. Literally, the bottom of your feet will heat up, and it would just charge you. It would cleanse you. Your body would react to that as well as the earth would and stuff. Um, so try grounding. It's a very revising thing. Very good. I mean, it's very pleasant and stuff. Very healthy too.
You don't want to do it on the ground? Go to the beach. Get in the sand. Put your feet in the sand. I mean,
The ocean, you know,
mhm.
um, in the ocean, go somewhere where you're comfortable. You got a little yard in your backyard. Just scrape the dirt up a little bit, get off the surface, and touch that raw dirt. Don't be scared of the bugs and all that kind of stuff. They're not gonna bother you. Just stand there and feel nature. It's amazing what you feel, what you go through spiritually. Um,
Nature
and
is a
you
good source of de-stress anyway. So just to get in
yeah,
nature, go on a hike and walk, sit there by the water, whatever.
yes,
It is a good decompressant. Is actually the most I would say for me. It lets me know the most presence of God and the most natural of habitat for me, and that helps me out. So even if you're not a person that want to stick your feet in the dirt, go somewhere where it's just nature, no cars, no confusion, no people around, just
cell phone, even the car. So
it
eh,
won't
I,
even
I
matter anyway because it doesn't work. It won't
yeah,
work.
it won't work anyway. So even in the car, your cell phone. No, please, these places I go, once you get in that town, cell phone's done. Um, but yeah, I think from my experience, my most grateful experience I ever had, with connecting with the earth, and that at that point when I questioned um everything is when I was in Arizona in the Grand Canyon, and I got out the truck and standing there. and some of you live in Arizona, you would know if you listen that live in any type of desert area, would know what I'm talking about. To stand there, in the desert, looking at the Grand Canyon. First of all, the beauty of it just take you. You know, there's a God that, without a doubt, standing there looking at that place like that. Secondly, the quietness. Your ears will ring for a while, like 45 minutes or so, like constantly ring until the ringing would literally stop. And it would just be breathtaking. And it was at that moment where I realized that, it's a certain type of reality that it brought a realization to me that, oh my God, I'm alive. Oh, it's just that breathtaking. Like, nobody can do this but God, from what I saw. And when at nighttime, when nighttime skies come, I mean, the stars went from horizon to horizon. You can literally watch day and night come. It's amazing. If the moon wasn't out, the stars lit up the desert. Like, it's just that amazing. I mean, it is good to get out and travel, get outside your box, and just travel much as you can, much you can afford. They don't want us to do that anyway, but it's good to do that.
Yeah, you learn. Not only do you find God in everywhere that He is, or it is, or whatever you want to call it, universe, divine, creation, creative. You also find history hidden.
Find yourself. Yeah. Yes, you even find yourself. I mean, it's just so much is being hidden from us because we are so in tune to everyday life, working every day, going shopping, Walmart, Black Friday, Christmas, Easter's, all these holidays and all this kind of stuff. We're so in tune with we're working to get to those points, but we didn't. We're just imprisoned ourselves. We don't get outside our box. Like, we going to Hawaii was an experience for me because I've never been outside of this side of the country. I always say United States, but I never been outside the country. And going to that place and putting my bare foot on the ground, it just changed me. It totally changed me. It's like it was my calling. So, it's just some things that you just got to do because we're only here for a limited time. We're in that limited time. We got so much to do. And the bad thing about it is we don't know what we have to do. We have to figure it out.
Well, we would know what we have to do if it wasn't for,
Yeah.
the powers that is. So I will say this: God is not in charge of confusion. I will say that.
Right.
I will say this much. And all we have is a bunch of confusion. So get out of the confusion, get out of your mind, take a breath. Breathing is very important. I've learned that that wait and the exhale thing that they're talking about, don't wait. Take a moment. It's frustrating. Take a moment.
Now.
Breathe. Right. Because it's very important and it helps you clear the mind. When everything gets too overwhelmed, find quiet. I mean, some people would call it meditation. Just quiet. Just a quiet house. Even if you gotta tell your kids shut up, like, just quiet. That helps. Right. So
exactly, and that's what it is. Oh man, God.
Like I said, but that's the whole point. Like, the point is the noise and the confusion and I gotta get to work because I need money to survive. That is the mongery that they're trying to keep us down with. We supposed to be free. We say, you know what I'm saying? We supposed to be playing with the lions, like whatever the case may be. We here to learn, and we can learn throughout this confusion also. But we got to find the calm. For me, I need to. I love balance, so I got to keep the balance some kind of way, and I'm learning to do that within myself, so that outside of myself, I'll be okay.
That's right. That's right.
Anything else?
I don't know about you. No, I don't know about you, but I'm up here in New York right now, so I got some mountains to climb here.
All right.
It's going to be interesting.
All right. Thank you for joining us in Consistently Rolling Show. And Lil about to be consistently rolling. And we'll talk to y'all again next week. Anything to close out with? Nothing.
No, I'm gonna behave. It's a Friday, Good Friday, so I'm gonna behave.
All right.
But I'm gonna listen to my little Nas X going back down the mountain.
All right. Good night. Good night, everyone.